Hi, I'm Shannon, here to walk you through everything you need to know about the cordless sanders. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're the first to see videos on DIY tips, product announcements, DIY projects, and so much more. Welcome to RYOBI Tools 101. Now there are many different sanders in the sander category that are cordless because every project requires something different. So you want to make sure you understand the finish texture that you're looking for and which one of these will help you get there. Now sanders are so versatile because each one of them is going to do something different for your projects. You can either be sanding a piece of furniture down to get some old paint or rust off of it, or you could be rounding the edge of a board. Now let's go through each one of the sanders so we can make sure that you're selecting the right one. We're gonna start with the random orbit, and this is one of my favorite sanders because it works with a random orbiting pattern. And the reason that's important is because if you are sanding a project down, you know you're not going to be left with that mark in the piece of material that you're working with. Because it's randomly orbiting, it's gonna cover a really great surface that you could never do by hand sanding. What you'll love about your random orbit sander is how easy it is to switch out a piece of sandpaper. Just simply pull it off and stick a new one on. And that makes going from project to project a lot easier. Next we have the corner cat, and I love this one when I'm working on a project that has smaller details. So if you have something where wrapping your finger with sandpaper isn't gonna do, the corner cat is great because it gets into those corners really effectively. Next we're gonna take a look at the quarter sheet sander. That is great if you're working with material where you need to get right up against the edge. I love this one. When it's time to change your sandpaper in your quarter sheet sander, all you need to do is simply release the metal levers and secure them back over a new piece of sandpaper. Lastly, we have your belt sander and your detail sander, and these are great for two different reasons. If you're working with a large surface like a table or something where you need to even out an entirely big surface, this one's great. If you're working with more details, that's what you're gonna want this one for. We're gonna talk through sandpaper because it's important that you understand how sandpaper works and how it's going to work depending on the project you're doing. Keep this in mind for a rule of thumb. Sandpaper comes in what's called grits. The lower the grit number, the rougher your sandpaper. The higher the grit number, the smoother the sandpaper. So think of it like this. If you're walking down the beach and you're walking on really smooth sand with thousands of particles, it feels really great. However, if you get up to some rocks and there's only a few of those and you start walking across those, you're gonna feel that roughness. So you can always kind of compare it to that and consider, what do I need to do here? Do I need to smooth out something, or do I need to completely remove the surface or even out something? Here's a great tip. If you're sanding any project, don't jump into your highest grit right away. You want to actually climb the ladder, so to speak, so start with that lower number and move up, because every grit is preparing for the next grit size. So if you're starting with a 60 or an 80, it's preparing that next thing you're going to use is a 120 or a 180, and so on and so forth. So if you are doing something where you know you're going to be applying stain or paint, you want to make sure that you're getting that really smooth finish, but again, end with the 220 for that reason, but go ahead and start with a lower sand just to make sure you're even. Let's talk about a couple safety tips. You want to make sure that you're wearing safety glasses and a dust mask. Also, be sure the material you're working with is secured to your surface. Be sure to read the warnings and instructions in your safety manual so that you know how to properly and effectively use your sander. I'm pretty proud of you for taking that step, so good luck in all your DIY and projects. Hey RYOBI Nation, thanks for tuning into this episode of Tools 101. If you liked what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe and comment below. Let us know what projects you want to hear more about and what you're working on in your own homes. So let's get out there and build together.